Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About with Biff, Lucky, and Mr. Fun, the podcast where we will talk about everything. We will talk about anything. Quite frankly, we will talk about it all. Rockfish and the Rivermen leading us in again with Chesapeake time. Got a note from Rockfish. He's giving me a new schedule to post. I'll put that on the YouTube link and also on the podcast notes when I get it out there. So great to hear from Rockfish. I know he and the band are playing a lot of places, and he did clarify that if it says private party, it's just so kind of a who's in the know sort of thing when they do a show, but all are welcome if that is seen anywhere on the schedule itself. So anyways, here we are another week, a day late. We had some
Snafu Day.
Snafu Day. We'll come back to Snafu, an acronym that's now a word, as we talked about MILF several weeks ago. But anyways, we had some scheduling challenges, so we apologize about it being a day late, but I think you're going to be very happy with the path we're going to go down on this podcast with a new thing that we are going to try out. We are three of us remote, as you can see. Lucky with the Scotty shirt on, me adorning Talk About, and Mr. Fun's right shoulder. We'll just leave it at that. This is how
important the podcast is to me. I left happy hour on the beach in Ocean City, Maryland, to come and participate with you guys. So
we are appreciative of it. It is all for one and one for all. Here we are as the Three Musketeers.
And I'd like to say it's so important to me that I realized I was wearing a company shirt and was willing to do the podcast topless if needed. I was going to take off my company shirt.
Then there were protests for 2/3 of the members of the crew, so we told him to put his shirt back on.
We're going to lock Mr. Fun out because of his new.
Anyways, as I was saying, we are not drinking Scotty's today, but Scotty's is going to be integral to a game we are about to play in just a few minutes. Real quick, where in the world is JK? JK is in Salt Lake City, his home base, and also Visalia, California. And the touring the Western United States, which we are very, very envious of. So instead of the joke of the week, we are going to introduce a new segment. And for those of you that are familiar with the podcast Kill Tony Hinchcliffe, who made famously was on the Tom Brady roast and made some hay, and also infamously told a joke somewhere at a I think it was the convention or something like that, one of the political conventions. But anyways, he has a show called Kill Tony, which is a whole thing about, trying to make the audience laugh and make the studio panel laugh. Well, Lucky and I are the panel, and we are calling this segment Get Lucky, which is a good name. And then we will, Mr. Fun has a minute where he is going to try to make us laugh, and by extension, all of you. So we're going to get Mr. Fun on the stage in just a moment. I will say the Kill Tony show does it where you have 1 minute. And when 1 minute is up, you hear a sound. They do it as a sound of a kitten. I didn't have a kitten, so here is my dog Harvey. When we hear this sound,
that means I have to finish up, right?
You have to finish up. That means the 1 minute is up, and Mr. Fun better wrap it up, so to speak. So that's where we are. So they've got
Before you introduce me, I need to preface this that I'm going with clean humor.
Okay.
And this is my first attempt, and this is a bad dad jokes with a geography theme, because I know you guys like geography.
Okay, Mr. Fun. So I'm going to count you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're on.
So I went to the psychiatrist the other day to complain that I have to drink every time I go from one country to the other country. He told me I was a borderline alcoholic. So, NATO's putting barcodes on their ships from Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark now. It's so that when they return to base, they can scan the Navy in. Speaking of Scandinavia, I ran a marathon across Scandinavia. I couldn't wait to get to the finish line. Hey, do you think the guy from Turkey's kind of an asshole because he put it just out of the reach of Hungary? You guys know how to warm up chili? You put it in Japan. Hey, last one. They found the girl with the biggest boobs in the world. She's from Libya. Yeah, Tripoli. Get it? Tripoli? Where's the dog sound?
No, the dog has you did that in literally 1 minute or what, 52 seconds.
I called my daughter.
Wait, now okay.
I called my daughter from Iraq. I said, I want to steal all these things from the bathroom, but I don't have anything to put them in. She said, put them in a Baghdad.
Okay. All right. Okay. Very good. That was very good rapid fire there, Mr. Fun. Who knew that Scandinavian jokes were going to be a part and parcel to your jokes of the week? So
That was a good one. That was the
what do we
highlight
think?
for me.
The Scandinavian joke was the highlight for you?
Yeah, that was the highlight for me.
I
Again, they were coming at me rapid fire. I had to like process them for.
It took me a second to get the Japan joke. What was the Japan joke, Mr.? I know.
How do you warm up chili?
How do you warm up chili in Japan?
You throw it in Japan. You throw it in Japan.
Okay, that's good. You were good there. That was they were good. I will get that. So, Mr. Fun, and so we had, and what we forgot to talk about is that if he did well, he was going to get a large bottle of Scotty's. Lucky, and I have that. If he didn't do so well, he only gets a little bottle of Scotty's. So I would suggest, Lucky, we can talk about amongst ourselves here, that he did a good job there. They were fast, they were furious, and they were funny. So what do you think?
Is there a medium in there? Is there a medium in the middle there?
Yeah.
I think a large bottle is my invitation to do it again in the future.
A full bottle of Scotty's is a pretty big reward for that joke. I thought the jokes were really funny, and they just came at me too quick, Mr. Fun. So, but I did like the content. So yeah, I think he's doing a big bottle of Scotty's.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. So, Mr. Fun, just so we've talked often about the improv, which is coming up sometime later this fall, right? You're going to go to the improv in DC. Is that what you think you want to do? Is
trying it out? I'm getting people's reaction. I'm trying it out.
Okay.
Somebody said they liked the idea of a comedian doing rapid fire dad jokes, so that's what I went with.
Okay, that's good. I think that's right up your alley. And then, have you been writing dad jokes? Just curious.
Yeah, I wrote like this one. I wrote the Triple E. I wrote the Turkey and Hungry. Okay. I do think that's got some legs to it. Why,
Well, good for
and
you.
then I wrote the Chile and Japan one. Yeah, those are mine.
All right. Well, that's excellent. Well, congratulations on doing that. So that's a lot of fun. So we'll do this again. I think we may at some point, not always Mr. Fun, if we can have a brave soul like Slab, maybe, Kevin P, maybe he comes on and we try this for a minute. If people have a minute, maybe Lucky and I try it one time, which would be interesting. So I think we should do that. So we will start this. I think that should be a regular occurring segment, and we'll do it at the beginning of the podcast. So. But there, beyond jokes, there are other things in the world that are happening. Lucky, what's on your list?
Okay, so did you guys celebrate International Beer Day last Friday?
Did
August
not.
1st, International Beer Day, which again, beer being one of the staples of alcoholic beverages across the world. But I have a provocative question I'll get to in a second. Miller Lite turned 50 on last Friday. 50 years old, and they gave out 50,000 free beers on the International Beer Day, which I thought was pretty cool, but only one per person.
Okay.
Did you guys see that anywhere?
I didn't see that. And Miller's had the Miller Lite's been in the gold can, right, which is the 50th anniversary. Have you had those?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I haven't.
No, yeah. So if you go to some bars, the 16-ounce beers are in a gold can.
Well, yeah,
that's like throwback cans, like they used to serve them in.
No, well, it's the same logo as Secte as the current one. Their logo has been pretty traditional, I think, over time. But it's a gold can, which is kind of you kind of look at it as why is that? But it's the 50th anniversary. So just as a slight segue, Mrs. Biff and I go on the Cape May ferry today, 8:45 a.m. ferry from Lewis, Delaware, and they're offering drinks right out of the gate, like it's like a poor man's cruise. And the guy had a funny joke about just go up to the bar and have a Miller latte. That's what he said, which was
that's pretty good.
It was a very good line. So, anyways, Lucky, back to you.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that's super popular now is beer spas. So go and you bathe in beer, essentially with beer. And it's basically an ancient tradition. It's like 2,000 years old, and these are super popular across Europe. But there's one in Sykesville, Maryland now, where you go and you bathe in different hops and different beer ingredients, and of course you're tasting beer and drinking beer while you're hanging out, which I thought was an interesting use of beer.
Is it co-ed? Is it co-ed?
Yeah, they have you can do couples beer spas where you're in one beer trough and your mate's in another.
Well, I was going to say, is it cold? So is it?
No, it's cold. It's not super cold. I think it's like Lukish warm.
Do they reuse the beer, or do I have to pay for all that beer?
It's just like you go to a spa. They empty out the spa, clean the tub out, fill back up. I think.
Wow.
Would you do it?
I would do that. Yeah.
You would do it.
Yeah.
I'd do it if it was warm, I suppose. I just don't want. Of course, it started in Europe where the beer is often warm, so they don't have to worry about that cold stuff. So
Yeah. But here's my provocative question. So with all these new drinks coming on the scene, alcohol, it seems like the kids today drink a lot of alcohol-based beverages like the High Noons and the seltzers. And the THC drinks are super popular now. But like if we were to fast forward 50 years from now, do you think beer would be like would beer lose its supremacy in the sort of social drink lexicon? Do you think it's, is it solid forever? Or do you think 50 years from now, beer might not be like in vogue? What do you think?
I think it's going to be solid-ish, I guess I'd say. There were drinks even when we were in younger, coming out of or high school into college, right? Bartles and James, right, which was wine coolers. So other non-beer and wine things and hard liquor have come to the fore and then left. There seems to be a lot more. I will grant you that. And I think, interestingly enough, the THC thing, I didn't realize how prevalent it is. I know you can get some through the mail, and we tried the one drink Breeze, which had the psilocybin or whatever the mushrooms in it. Is that at a liquor store in Bethany Beach, and there's a whole rack, which I didn't know existed, of THC drinks, 10 milligrams. I think is what it was.
So speaking of those drinks, they come in 50 milligram cans. So it's like an Arizona iced tea style. And like most regular people who drink, eat the THC, the gummies, 5 and 10 milligrams is like normal. These cans are 50 milligrams of that stuff. I mean, can you imagine like if you made the mistake and you like pounded that drink, thinking it was just,
Now, have you had a 10 milligram THC drink, Luck?
I drank, yeah, I've drank 15 milligrams of THC before.
What is it? You felt it right away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Not right away. Not right
not
away.
right away.
It's like, it sort of eases in, but it's, I think the THC drinks in particular are almost the equivalent of getting high.
Wait, for us old guys, beer drinkers, compare it to, is it like drinking beer? Is it like drinking wine? Is it like drinking vodka?
High. It's being high.
Oh, it's like smoking pot.
Yeah. I think it's closer to the equivalent of eating a gummy or smoking marijuana. Yep.
Maybe we should try that on one of those. Maybe the day that I tell the jokes or you tell the jokes, Lex, we should the alternate.
Yeah. Laugh if you give me some of that. I'll laugh.
Okay. Here's another spin on drinking. So this year, like the Aperol Spritz is like a worldwide sort of famous drink, and like on social media, people are drinking the Aperol Spritz, and they want to be seen drinking it. There's another drink called the Hugo Spritz, which is elderflower liquor. With Prosecco and club soda. That's like the new drink now that everybody wants to be seen drinking. But, we all hear about all these troubling economic times across the country. There's a new drink called the Spaghetti, the SPAGHETT. And it's basically a no-frills spritz. It's made with Miller High Life and a splash of Aperol and a lemon. And they say that this drink is becoming popular because it's cheap. And it's an indicator of a potential recession coming. And so this drink is becoming super popular because it's cheap and people are drinking it. I don't know. So I don't know.
Why do you think it's spelled one letter short of spaghetti?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's because I'm trying to think. It's not Aperol Spritz. It's not. And you can have tomato juice in a beer, right? Which is Michelada, I think. Something along those lines, which is a Mexican drink. Of some sort, but I was trying to figure out where they got to spaghetti because it's Italian, maybe.
So wait, it's an imitation of another drink.
It's this imitation spritz, and it's Miller High Life with a splash of Aperol and a lemon. So it's cheap. It's a cheaper version of the Aperol spritz,
and it's almost spelled like spaghetti,
without the I. Yeah,
it sounds like it's an impasta to me.
Impasta, yeah.
Have you ever had have you ever had a beer with like a Corona with hot sauce with like hot sauce in it?
No.
Yeah, put a hot sauce, put Tabasco or something in the Corona. It's quite a good drink. And that's almost like a Corona Nita, right? Which is throwing a Corona in a margarita. Yeah, I think those are good drinks. They're really good.
Speaking of drinks and foods, did I tell you guys that Lucky told me a story the other day? He was working at a restaurant. This is long before he was married. And he decided to quit. He didn't like his boss, so he decided to just mess around with this one beautiful person, a woman who used to come in every day for lunch. And so he took his pants off under his apron and he walked up into to the table and he flashed her and he said, "Super cock." And she said, "I think I'll have the soup."
True story.
True
Yeah,
story.
true
Jeez.
story.
Harvey almost barked if that went on any longer here. So let's.
Speaking of drinks, one final thing. Did you see that and we talked about snafus earlier? Celsius, which is the caffeine drink that's super popular. It's like a Red Bullish kind of thing. And High Noon had this big mismatch where they put High Noon drink in Celsius cans and pushed it out and started selling it. And they figured there was like this big production mistake, and so they had to recall all this Celsius and High Noon.
Oh, wow.
Like,
So are they owned by the same company? How do you mix up two lines like that? One's non-alcoholic,
they
one's
must
an
be
energy drink.
maybe the bottler is a generic bottler or a can, put the stuff in the can. But I don't know if they're owned by the same company or not, but they definitely were on the same production line, and somebody made a big mistake and put a bunch of which I thought was pretty funny in this day and age of making a mistake like that. Some poor kid was pounding Celsius before like an exam, and they were chugging some High Noon by accident. So
Speaking of kids, and this is a complete going off the tangent, I was reading today about what Mark Zuckerberg gave an offer to a 24-year-old, $250 million over 4 years to run AI at Meta. Did I read that correctly?
Yep.
That's incredible to me.
Those all the AI's arms race when it comes to the best of the best, like data scientists and the model builders. Those guys are getting there's not a lot of them, so that's why they're getting that kind of money. But yeah, there is a massive. Those guys are making a ton of money.
Does it go without saying that he's a genius? Obviously, this guy they're offering that money to. He has to be. How do you offer $250 million?
There are a few of those people that are just the brainiac kind of people that have really immersed themselves in the AI and understand how to optimize the use of it for business purposes. And those guys are getting paid tons of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go from the sublime to the ridiculous here, Luck. Back to you.
Yeah. Okay. So, and this is something we might want to consider. I know we always talk about like going on trips and, immerse ourselves in some worldly activities. The World Championship wife carrying championship was competition was this past week.
You teased us with this last year, I think.
Yeah. Well, so the 28th annual of competition was just recently, and for the first time, an American couple won the competition. So they have the competition in Finland, and these Caleb and Justine Rosler won the competition and it was again the first time. Like most of the people are from either Russia, Estonia, Lithuania, and Finland. Those are the past winners. But and again, if for those of you who don't remember, the way this works is it's about a 250-meter course where the husband has to carry the wife through this obstacle course of like you have to carry her over things, you have to go through water, but the winning couple gets the weight of the wife in beer. That's like that's the prize. So
how do they do this though? You could obviously have a wife that's Dominique Dawes, right? 4'8", something like that. And are there categories for the wives?
So the wife must be 17 years old and weigh at least 49 kilograms. But
17 years old, that rule of 17 years old isn't interesting. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But if she weighs less than 49 kilograms, the guy has to wear a weight belt, or the woman.
Do we know what 49 kilograms is? I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know. Somebody do the math on that.
49 kg.
But the woman has to wear a helmet too, by the way, which I thought was pretty funny.
Well, safety first.
49 kilograms. I'm trying to do this quick.
So wow. And didn't we decide they have to carry them a certain way?
It's 108 pounds.
108 pounds. So that's the minimum.
108 pounds.
Yeah, there's different ways to carry. The Estonian carry is like the main way, which is basically their head is on the other side, like on the back. So their legs are facing forward.
They're holding the legs up. They're basically behind the knees, right? Holding the legs up.
Yep.
Right, and running. So, okay.
So anyway, so that went off again this
another
year.
year missed where we missed it. You just got to give us more heads up next time, Lucky.
Well, they do have U.S. competition, so we might want to think about if we don't want to go all the way to Finland for the competition.
Do you have to be married? Like, I would like to carry Biff because he's like skinny And I think I could show some real speed carrying Viv.
The best friend carry
Yeah,
competition.
best
Yeah.
friend Gary.
That's right. Yeah, sure, I'd be up for that, Mr. Fun.
We wouldn't get a lot of beer though if we won.
Yeah,
All
that's
right. I got two more things, quick things. So Sydney Sweeney is like massively in the news. She is on seems to be on every advertisement I see in social media. And she
Mhm.
got, of course, this big hubbub about the American Eagle jeans she was wearing. Everybody's like, talking about that. American Eagle stock going through the roof. Yeah, super, which was crazy. But like, I'm trying to think of some. She's super pretty, sex symbol S. She's been in a bunch of shows or whatever. But when has someone like been this popular that like she's on
Brooke
so
Shields. Brooke Shields.
Yeah,
but she's on so many products though. Ice cream, phones,
Oh, okay.
funny loafers, the bathwater. If you talked about that
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago, and now these jeans, like she is dominating advertising. It seems.
So
which is
I think the difference, if you think about it, in days gone by, that it was supermodels to Mr. Fun's point, right? In a sense, Brooke Shields, Cindy Crawford, right? And stars, whether they TV or Hollywood stars, were reluctant to do commercial advertising. They just didn't. Maybe they did some stuff overseas. Like you would see George Clooney on Nespresso. That was probably the most recent one of a big star doing that. But that was sort of the third rail. They didn't do it. They didn't do advertising. And now they have figured out that it doesn't hurt the star's credibility to do the advertising. So why not cash in? And to American Eagle's credit and those other brands, they're killing it. I mean, it's her more than 15 minutes of fame, but fame, waxes and wanes, and
Let me
she's
get
on
this
the
straight.
uprise.
Let me get this straight. They actually did an advertisement with a celebrity, and it's selling a lot of jeans. Isn't that the
Exactly.
whole
Yeah, that's the
reason you do
point.
marketing?
Right. Well, I mean,
And-
that's Michael Jordan, right? And athletic shoes.
Yeah,
There was
and
Nike.
I'm a little bit. I talked about this the other day with Mrs. Fun, and I'm like, there comes a time where you can see both sides of an argument or why it upsets people. This one to me may have jumped the shark for people who are talking about really being offended by a beautiful woman or man, or if she was black. I mean, Beyonce, wasn't she in jeans? Didn't she do an ad with
Yes, jeans.
I mean, yeah. So whether you're black or white, you're male, female. I mean, if an attractive person is trying to show off good-looking jeans and the jeans start selling, I mean, I haven't thought of it. What is it called? American Eagle?
American Eagle. Yeah.
I haven't thought of American Eagle ever, maybe. And now I want to see what kind of jeans they make.
Yeah.
It
So
shows
I mean,
how
look,
far we've come with
Right.
when Marky Mark in his underwear used to be in Times Square. Right. Like why is it today? It's like, so, such a controversy.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a creative ad. It was a double entendre, right? The word
Yeah.
jeans and jeans spelled GENES,
Yeah.
right? And I thought that it was really well done. And it is that point though. And on a related note, I read today that 2024 was the first year there wasn't a major comedy released in the movies. I mean,
Wow.
on a screen.
Wow.
And the fact is that we had talked about that previously. Now it's starting to turn a little bit, right? I saw that which is, I've seen parts of it. It's awful. Happy Gilmore 2
Yep.
had 42 million views on Netflix, right? It's a comedy. You've got Naked Gun 2. I don't know
Yeah.
what the reboot is with
Yep.
Liam Neeson. Did pretty well out of the gate. So I think we're back to going the other way. To your point, Mr. Fun, about jumping the shark, I think there were moments where people realized that it had gone too far one way, and I think it's going to start creeping back.
Yeah, my family was asked to do commercials about diarrhea because it runs in our genes.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Wait. Here, wait.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Harvey.
I might cut you
All
off
right,
on
I got
that.
one more topic, and this one is we've talked about the WNBA a bunch, and them, all the, there's all kinds of controversies now. Fans are throwing dildos onto the court to like, again, just like as a sexual innuendo to the female basketball players that are playing. This happened twice over the last week, and they actually caught one of the guys and after the fact, arrested him and prosecuted him, for whatever. I don't know what the rule is about throwing dildos on the basketball courts, but it's like, and I feel sorry for the women because it is a very sexist symbol that is being, thrown out on the court or whatever. But it's just crazy. Like, what are people thinking?
I got to admit, it's probably the only time I'm going to watch a WNBA game to watch
What,
to
the
see
hope?
the
The hope
they
is
do
to
a
a
dildo.
dildo.
And here's what
Dildo.
struck me. Just a few facts. Biff, you haven't seen these dildos, have you?
I have not.
Well, they were green. They were like the dildo an alien wiener would have. Like they were green. I don't think they had testicles attached. So I think it was just a green. And to get them off the court, the poor little person who sweeps the court, what are those guys called?
With the mops.
Yeah, he had to cover it with a towel and then scoop it up, which was smart thinking. I might have not done that. I don't know what I would have done.
You know how at hockey games when somebody hits a hat trick, they score 3 goals. Everybody throws the goals, and you'll see sometimes that they take all the hats and they put them in a clear container in the concourse as like to show. Do you think the WNBA is going to be like a clear thing of dildos like people are going to see?
So how many times is this?
Twice. It happened twice in the last week, and I guarantee it's going to start happening more because it's like getting a lot of attention.
Yeah.
How do you? So I know security has changed where now you don't even have to take because you can walk through the metal detectors, but you got to sneak a dildo into the game.
They're plastic.
Well, maybe.
Are they just plastic, Mr. Fun?
I don't know. This one looked like it bounced, so it could have been more rubbery.
Rubber.
Okay.
One of them bounced a little bit.
I guess.
So, know that story I've told it before about the dad. He's driving down the road with his daughter in the front seat. They're behind a garbage truck, and suddenly a dildo comes out of the garbage truck and smacks against the windshield. And the daughter goes, "What the heck was that, Dad?" And the dad goes, "I think it was a bug." And he goes, "If that was the bug," the girl goes, "If that was a bug, it has the biggest cock I've ever seen." No.
Okay.
Nice.
Woof woof.
Yeah. You want to know Harvey Bark? Harvey Bark again is a time thing, but Harvey,
you're going to take away my large bottle of vodka.
Yeah, that's right. I've got one minor kind of observational thing. A friend of ours down here, on the in the morning news or whatever the news, they'll also do they'll do the time or the temperature check from someplace, right? Pick a city in a metro area and they'll do it. So the news down here did Steve and Ann from Bethany Beach. It was 73 degrees. That was the temperature in the morning. I get a video sent to me of this, and I went back to him on text and said, "Hey, you live in Dagsboro," and then we got into this debate about. Yeah, but we live in Greater Bethany Beach, and you just kind of say that where you're from. And I said, okay, I get that, I suppose. But if you're describing yourself, and I'll look to you, Mr. Fun, just primarily, when you were telling somebody where you were from when you were in college, what did you tell them?
Wow, that's interesting. I was from Jersey.
So you didn't want to confuse it with New York City? You were in Greater New York.
No, never that. But I was from Jersey, and then people got familiar with my hometown.
Okay.
I would say the name of my hometown, but I know you're not asking this. What was news to me is people in Maryland refer to their county. We were never from our county. Everybody at the University of Maryland tells you what county they're from. Like, who cares?
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I've been one that said, I went to high school in Peachey County, right? I did. But Lucky, you grew up in the Baltimore area. Did you say you were from Baltimore? Or did you say
I would always say where my address was on my my postal address. I'm from.
But if you were saying if you were talking to somebody in California and you said you were from Maryland, or you said you were from where?
No, I would say I'm from Arnold, Maryland, which is a suburb of Annapolis. That's how I would say it.
So I would, I will admit, so often people would ask me where I'm from, and I'd say Maryland, and they would assume Baltimore. So then I'd clarify and say it was D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it was just the DC area for that matter. But it's an interesting thing, and Mr. Fun, I never really thought about that fact that Marylanders do say where the county they're from a lot.
Nobody else does that I've met.
Maybe that's just I'm not sure that's not true for other parts of the country, but it is surely prevalent in the area, and maybe not so much, Virginia, Fairfax.
What I've noticed too is that people around here, their city starts growing. Like it becomes, for instance, Bethesda. People live in North Bethesda now. Yeah. Well, North Bethesda is Rockville, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, North Potomac is West Gaithersburg.
Right.
I mean, that's what. But that's as one that has done
Branding.
something in real estate, Mr. Fun, it's all
Yeah.
about location.
I guess so. Yeah.
So it is, which goes back to that's where I started this: Bethany Beach versus Dagsboro. It is sort of the preeminent town around here. So, Mr. Fun, I hate to say this to you because we have heard some jokes, but do you have I'm not even sure we can call them risque anymore. We have gone slightly cleaner on these jokes, notwithstanding the windshield joke you just told. But you have a joke to bring us home?
Yeah. So Biff, Lucky, and Mr. Fun are stranded on a desert island. And a couple weeks later, they're rescued by a ship that was passing by. And the captain notices that Mr. Fun is looking really fat. And Biff is wearing a very warm coat. And Lucky he looks a little bit deformed. He has an average sized body, but it appears that his head has shrunk since he's been on the island. So he says, "What the hell happened to you guys?" And I say, "Well, after a few days, we found a lamp and we rubbed it, and the most beautiful genie popped out and granted us one wish each. I was really hungry, so she granted me all the food I could eat. Biff complained that he was really cold, so she gave him a warm coat. And Lucky asked the beautiful genie if he could have a little head."
A little head.
Nice.
Got it. I saw that one coming a mile
That
away.
was coming from a mile away. Lucky, if they want to comment on our new segment of Get Lucky or even that joke,
or nominate themselves for the minute.
Yes. 1 minute of stand up.
Yeah. Talk about 2023 at gmail.com. Thank you so much for all we're getting a ton of email. A lot of listeners, a lot of viewers of our clips out on social media, which is fun.
Yeah, we're getting we are quite literally getting thousands upon thousands of views of our clips in particular. So thank you for those that are paying attention and watching them, both listeners and non-listeners to the podcast at this point. So if you can, please share the podcast, share the YouTube with anybody you know. Word of mouth is good, and I'm talking to more and more people that are aware of the podcast, and but we'd like to have more viewers of YouTube or listeners in the podcast. But we will keep posting things, and hopefully you find them fun. And I think we got some good things that we will post after this one. So speaking of fun, any words from you, Mr. Fun?
Yeah, we have a great time doing this podcast. We do it weekly. We have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and we hope you're having fun. We also would like to someday make $1 or $2 doing this. So if you're a sponsor, if you're a company that wants to sponsor our podcast, reach out to us. We're cheap. We'll put up we'll do free advertising. No, not free. We'll do cheap advertising for you. Reach out to us.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So, well, good. Well, it's been great seeing you guys again. Apologies for being a day late, but I hope you found that you appreciated that. Drink more Scotties. Maryland made, Maryland smooth. He's again making talk to him. Doubled his sales this year versus last year. So more power to Scotty and the team for what they.
I wonder how much talk about had to do with that.
There's a relation. We're into this 2.5 years, and he's doubling sales. So I think we're good. I mean, Mr. Fun's shrinking by 50%, but we're doubling sales at the same time, which is just sort of an oxymoron to think about. So until we do it again next week, let me just say goodbye. All right, guys. It's been a while since we've done an outro, specifically since we've been on YouTube. But here we are, and we don't have a guest to do the outro, so I don't want you guys to screw it up.
You know why my minute was a little short? Because I forgot. Do you know they don't make French fries in France? They make them in Greece.
Yes.
Oh, God.
So we talked about this being a snafu, so apologize to our fans for being a day late. What is snafu? What are the acronyms?
Situation, normal, all fucked up.
Oh, okay. So
that's snafu.
That was
a military term from World War II, I think.
Yeah, they used to put it on like rocks and signs and stuff. People used to spray paint that little guy with the big nose.
But it is a word. Oh, so heard a word today. Mrs. Biff was playing Wordle. She put illin. You remember the word illin from ILLIN? Like from Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Is illin a word? I actually have not looked it up, but it didn't accept it from the New York Times.
No, that's not a word.
It's not a word.
I don't think so.
Okay. But it is also one of those words, though, that we would know that our kids wouldn't have a clue. Well, it would be, right? It was, and I never said it. Mr. Fun would say it in rap, you be illin or something like that. But it's interesting that, again, one of those words that you just don't know what's a word and what isn't a word. So anyways, we are, as I said, we are doing an outro. And it's been a while since we've done it. And what do we not say?
We're still not saying goodbye.
We never say goodbye.
We never say goodbye. So I'm going to let you do it, Lucky, to do the outro, the official outro.
Well, thank you for listening. Until next time. And
join us again next week.
Join us again next week. Or, whenever. Listen, 2.5 years of content. If you're a new listener, listen to some of our best stuff.
Which I pulled some out. Episode 19, if I remember my notes correctly. I'll look it up, which I did it as a best of. Right? And you go onto into the Apple or wherever, and it's got 30 minutes of some really funny stuff. So if anybody wants to listen to that, please do. So
I'm just curious, how long is the outro supposed to be?
It's running on the ragged edge here, Mr. Fun. So we'll do that. So we'll say goodbye from this point forward. Oh shit! Even I said it.
Is Vita sane?
Vita
See you next time.
See you next time. See ya.
Later. Good stuff.